Christine Brennan is writing a book about Caitlin Clark, so they feel like she's going to profit from Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark hate has now burned up Christine Brennan.
I don't know why she's the target of all of this.
All because they hate this little white girl, and now they hate Christine Brennan.
She is on your side.
In the world of sports, controversy often ignites passionate debates, but when it comes to the WNBA, the conversation is increasingly intertwined with themes of race and bias.
If they attack Caitlin Clark, their names are too going to be in the headlines.
As a league that has made strides in supporting its players, the WNBA is now facing scrutiny over its treatment of athletes based on their race, particularly in the wake of some troubling incidents on the court.
There is not a single grateful person I ever hear from in this league.
Today, we're diving deep into the narrative surrounding renowned sports journalist Christine Brennan and her recent inquiries into player conduct, specifically focusing on Caitlin Clark and Dejanai Carrington.
Take a look at this. A message on behalf of the 144, which refers to the 144 players in the WNBA. They're teaching fucking journalism now.
Was Brennan's question about Carrington's actions fair, or was it another instance of a white reporter being targeted for simply doing her job?
She didn't say, hey, I know you hit Dejanai, I know you hit her in the eye on purpose. Explain to me why you did it. No, she asked, hey, did you do it on purpose? These are legitimate questions that any journalist should be asking.
As we explore the dynamics of player interactions and the apparent double standards at play, we'll uncover how the WNBA's narrative around race is affecting its public image and the treatment of players on both sides of the spectrum.
Christine Brennan ain't on the side of all the people that Dejanai Carrington and everyone else seem to hate so much. They're not on the side of people who only started watching the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark. She is on your side.
Stay tuned as we dissect these pressing issues and what they mean for the future of the league and its athletes.
They think this is just a great way to keep themselves in the news.
To understand the current tensions in the WNBA, we need to revisit a specific incident that raised eyebrows and ignited conversations around player conduct and race.
Dejanai, did you, when you went and kind of swatted at Caitlin, did you intend to hit her in the eye? And if so, could you just, or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that play?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am. So yeah.
Did you and Marina kind of laugh about it afterwards? It looked like there was later on in the game they caught you guys laughing about it.
No, I just told you I didn't even know I hit her. So I can't laugh about something I didn't know happened.
During a recent game, Caitlin Clark faced an unexpected and aggressive hit from Dejanai Carrington that left her visibly shaken and struggling on the court.
ESPN wrote a story after the game that did not mention the first woman to ever be the biggest star in American sports was assaulted 2 minutes into the game on a dirty play with one of these women with these long fake fingernails that stabbed her in the eye.
The impact was severe enough to result in the lowest point total Clark has ever scored in a game, a testament to the physical toll it took on her. While Carrington later claimed the hit was accidental, many observers were left questioning the intent behind the action.
What's a lesbian look like? Angry. You got the angry African-American lesbian who just can't handle somebody coming into their league as a white girl with a bunch of attention.
This incident drew immediate media attention, but the narrative quickly shifted as the focus turned to Brennan's questions during a post-game interview.
Don't you know she's a black queen? You don't question black queen. Don't you understand that they are the modern-day Jesus Christ of America?
Rather than simply addressing the incident, Brennan sought to uncover the truth by asking Carrington if the hit was intentional, a question that many felt was not only fair, but necessary to provide clarity on the situation.
You can't just answer the question and move on. I don't think there was anything that Christine Brennan said was beyond the pale.
However, the backlash against Brennan was swift and harsh. Critics argued that her inquiry was biased, suggesting that it unfairly targeted a black player while seeking to promote a narrative of victimhood for Clark, a white player.
First of all, how the hell is that question pushing towards homophobia and misogynistic. They're making shit up and using buzzwords.
This reaction raises significant concerns about the atmosphere within the league, where players and media alike seem to be caught in a web of racial dynamics that overshadow individual incidents and narratives.
We are allergic to disagreement. And how dare Christine Brennan ask a question that might get people that disagree with our broader stance on all race issues to disagree with us again? How dare you?
As we delve deeper into this discussion, it becomes increasingly evident that the WNBA's ongoing support for black players, irrespective of their actions, creates a complex environment that challenges the objectivity of sports journalism and fair treatment of all athletes.
They've put out a statement calling for her to be punished for asking a legitimate question of Honey Dejounte Carrington, the woman who intentionally poked Caitlin Clark in the eye.
The scrutiny surrounding Christine Brennan's questioning has exposed a deeper issue within the WNBA: the apparent bias that influences how players are portrayed based on their race. It's important to highlight that this narrative isn't just about individual players, but reflects a broader trend within the league.
All because they hate this little white girl, and now they hate Christine Brennan, who is an ally to the WNBA for nearly 40 years. They're going after Christine Brennan. If Christine Brennan can't satisfy them, why do you think you could?
As various commentators and former players have pointed out, there seems to be a consistent effort to rally around black players, often at the expense of white players like Caitlin Clark. Take Cheryl Swoops, for example.
Nobody was talking about Cheryl Swoops before the WNBA season started, but she's figured out a way to jump back into the spotlight for the first time since retiring in 15 years. She's staying relevant by saying dumb things about the next popular women's basketball player, the most popular women's basketball player on the planet.
A WNBA legend, Swoops has recently expressed her disdain toward Clark, often challenging the validity of Clark's performance statistics.
I don't know why she's the target of all of this. Maybe they're upset that Christine Brennan is writing a book about Caitlin Clark, so they feel like she's going to profit from Caitlin Clark.
Critics argue that Swoops' repeated negative comments about Clark appear to stem from jealousy and a desire to diminish the spotlight on a rising star.
We say her stats are today, what?
20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But 5.6
Is that
turnovers.
Those are hell of a number.
Those are hell of a numbers.
But to me, that's not dominating.
Yeah, it's only not dominating because she's a rookie.
She said that 20 points, 8+ assists, 6 rebounds a game is not dominating. I assume that that means that you never dominated at all then, Cheryl Swoops.
By focusing on Clark's numbers and attempting to undermine her achievements, Swoops contributes to a narrative that paints Clark as less deserving of recognition simply because she is white.
Not every question asked by a journalist is a great question. Not every question asked by a journalist is a fair question, but they have a job to do and they can ask the question.
It underscores a troubling trend of public figures in the WNBA using their platforms to promote a divisive narrative instead of fostering unity and sportsmanship.
Christine Brennan has been a friend of the WNBA, and suddenly she's public enemy number 1, I guess. Do they expect to have no criticism?
Additionally, Angel Reese, another prominent black player, has been seen trying to capitalize on Clark's growing popularity.
The only time that we tend to notice her is when she has said something, A, about Caitlin Clark, and B, it seems to be stupid. She continues to talk about Caitlin Clark, and she continues to be profoundly wrong in pretty much everything that comes out of her mouth.
Reese's comments and actions often seem designed to elevate her own profile by contrasting herself against Clark, adding to the tension.
I think there's a jealousy factor there. She craves not just being the center of attention, not just having the cameras in the spotlight. She craves being the hero, not the villain. She's got to experience love. Everyone's got to be as crazy about Angel Reese as you are Caitlin Clark.
This competition for visibility among players can foster an environment where support for one group can inadvertently lead to the marginalization of another, making it difficult for fair discussions about player performance to take place.
for whatever reason, they decide to get themselves involved, whether it is actually malintent or maybe they just want to get themselves in the headline. A lot of players got the spotlight this season because of Caitlin Clark, not to mention just overall, Caitlin Clark brought millions, literally, more eyeballs to the league this season.
These dynamics are not only detrimental to players like Clark, but also contribute to an atmosphere where questions about bias and racism become inevitable.
Caitlin Clark is box office.
Caitlin is the face right now, and that's also good. Like, she's selling out gyms.
Caitlin Clark is a megastar.
TV ratings have spiked 153% from last season, and that's before the playoffs, which began last week.
Caitlin Clark is a box office draw, while the rest of the WNBA, it is nothing but a polished turd.
But the attention she brought to the sport, hopefully going to have a residual effect for years to come.
They have done everything they can to diminish the impact of Caitlin Clark.
Instead of addressing these issues head-on, the WNBA seems to encourage a narrative that favors black players, creating an imbalance that can alienate fans and detract from the sport's integrity.
Caitlin Clark is just such a class act. She was incredible, breaking all types of records, and that's something she was certainly proud of. We saw lots of smiles on the court.
Caitlin is the face right now, and that's also good. Like, she's selling out gyms,
crucial to ask,
of course. Like, why would you hate against
WNBA
that?
truly fostering an inclusive environment, or is it inadvertently perpetuating a cycle of bias and division?
And the first response is not to, oh, hey, are you okay? When she's down on the ground, holding her eye, knowing you just jab someone in the eye.
Offer.
It's to look at the official and plead with the official. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong. Almost as if she knew what she was doing when she did it. No foul was called.
One of the most glaring examples of bias in the WNBA can be seen through controversial plays that have sparked heated debates among fans and analysts alike. A significant incident was Dejanai Carrington's hit on Caitlin Clark during a recent game. This play not only led to Clark scoring the fewest points in her career, but also raised questions about Carrington's intentions.
We saw dirty play after dirty play on Caitlin Clark, and still, she just handled every single situation with the highest levels of dignity.
Was it a careless mistake, or was it a deliberate attempt to undermine Clark's performance? The narrative surrounding this incident is crucial, as it reflects how the league handles aggressive plays by certain players compared to others.
Caitlin Clark came in and made such an impact on how many people started to care about the WNBA. This was the highest viewed season in the history of the league.
Despite the impact of the hit on Clark's performance, the WNBA's response, or lack thereof, has been telling. Fans and commentators have criticized the league for seemingly overlooking Carrington's actions, while also emphasizing how the focus tends to shift when discussing fouls committed by black players.
The quality of play in the WNBA, it's just not good. Maybe if they had 10 Caitlin Clark spread throughout the league, maybe it would be watchable then.
This disparity in attention raises questions about the league's priorities and its commitment to fair play. Why is it that incidents involving white players like Clark receive less scrutiny compared to those involving black players?
This is the team that the mainstream media claims is full of big stars. Asia Wilson, ooh, big star. Kelsey the plumber, ooh, fix that toilet. The most dominant team in the league. They can't draw 500,000 viewers for a playoff game.
The inconsistency in officiating and disciplinary measures highlights a concerning trend within the league. Furthermore, when looking at other incidents involving black players, such as Kennedy Carter's intentional shoulder hit on Clark, the response from officials and the media has often been muted. In stark contrast, any perceived foul committed by Clark has been amplified, leading to an atmosphere where the fairness of officiating is called into question.
WNBA players and their pretend friends in the mainstream media, they have done everything they can to diminish the impact of Caitlin Clark. They tried to convince us that there are other players in the dump capable of drawing an audience. They tried to convince us that other players deserve the spotlight.
This disparity serves not only to alienate players like Clark, but also creates a toxic environment where players are pitted against each other based on race rather than skill.
Owner of the Atlanta Dreamers said, "This is our league." All those people who have been saying, "This is our league," they can't sell out playoff games.
This narrative fosters an unhealthy competitive spirit, overshadowing the importance of sportsmanship and integrity within the game. As we examine these controversial plays, it's essential to consider how the WNBA's handling of these incidents reflects a deeper issue.
I don't think the WNBA is ready for this type of attention that she's bringing. Racism. Everybody's talking about enough with the racist BS. She's nasty. She knows how to ball. Everybody else is jealous. They're pissed off because she's getting this, like, it's ridiculous. And we're never going to advance as a species, and we're never, if he keeps having that type of attitude. It's ridiculous. It's like, what? Everything has to go back to race. Everything has to keep going back to race. She's really good. Let it be that. And the other players should shut the hell up. Like, nobody was talking about your league. Nobody cared about the WNBA until that girl, Caitlin Clark, I don't care what color she is, she's ridiculous, she's nasty, and now people are watching, and you guys are talking shit about her? She should leave. She should have got those other contracts. Where does she have a contract to go somewhere else?
The Big Three.
She should have gone to the Big Three. To hell with the WNBA. They're nothing. They're nobody.
A systemic bias that prioritizes racial narratives over fair play. The ongoing tension between players and the league's response to various incidents must be addressed if the WNBA hopes to maintain its integrity and promote a truly inclusive environment for all players.
There's a league with players that feel like they should be getting the attention. Now they have center stage, but the ratings are going to go down. Are they going to be pointing fingers and blaming Indiana Fever fans and Caitlin Clark fans whenever the ratings don't stay the same?
Yeah, they will.
As we reflect on the current state of the WNBA, it becomes increasingly clear that the league faces significant challenges regarding fairness and equality. The ongoing support for certain players, regardless of their actions on the court, raises concerns about the narrative being promoted within the league. While it's vital to celebrate the talents and achievements of all players, it is equally important to hold them accountable for their conduct. Christine Brennan's fair questioning of Dejounte Carrington and Caitlin Clark highlights a crucial point: the need for open dialogue in sports. Instead of shunning honest inquiries, the WNBA should embrace them as opportunities for growth and understanding.
Hey, look at the numbers everywhere else across women's basketball. It's not just Caitlin Clark, it's all of us. And then the moment the ratings tank, they're going to come back and say, see, we were right all along. It's all the racists that follow Caitlin Clark that were watching the product, and now they're gone, and we're back with our diehards. It is bad news for the WNBA that she's not continuing to play.
The backlash against Brennan for simply asking questions reflects a troubling trend of silencing voices that seek to address uncomfortable truths. In a league that should be a beacon of inclusivity and equality, the growing divide between players based on race undermines the very essence of sportsmanship. Fans deserve a league that values fairness above all else, one that does not shy away from difficult discussions about bias and accountability.
Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA. First WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. First triple-double by a rookie in WNBA history. First triple-double in Fever history. The first player to be named WNBA Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same month. First player in WNBA history with 20 or more points, 15 or more assists, and 5 or more rebounds in a game. She won Rookie of the Month 4 times. Eastern Conference Player of the Week 3 times, single season rookie record for assists, single season rookie record for 3-pointers, single game record for assists, 19. Franchise record for most double-doubles, 3-pointers, career 10 or more assists in a game. Franchise record for most career 10 or more assists in a game. Fastest WNBA player to reach 100 3-pointers. She did it in 34 games. Most assists by a rookie in a WNBA All-Star game, for which she received the most fan votes ever, 700,000 of those. Fastest player to reach 350 points and 150 assists to start a season, regardless of years in the league. People will say, pay more attention to the other folks. Like, she couldn't do it herself. You know, LeBron has teammates, Jordan had teammates. I understand.
As we continue to follow these narratives, it is imperative for us as fans and observers to demand better from the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark is becoming the best player in the entire WNBA, not because she's white, because she's that good. She's having Larry Bird impact. She's been the driving force of the hottest team in the entire league, despite her record turnovers. Why? Because she's that good. She's legit good. She's colorblind good. She's guilt-free good. She's apolitically good.
Let's advocate for a future where all players are treated equitably, regardless of race, and where integrity on the court remains the top priority. Only then can the league truly thrive and inspire the next generation of athletes, ensuring that sports remain a unifying force rather than a divisive one.
I think she is the Stephen Curry of women's college basketball. I think she has changed the dynamics of the way the game is played. I think the way she plays, the pizzazz, is like she's probably the most prolific scorer the game of basketball has ever seen.